Heading into the 15th race of the season, both championships are already wrapped up. But with 3 rounds to go this year, what are my 5 things to look out for going into the Bahrain race weekend? My name's Andy, and this is Behind the Drive. Number 1. The battle for third in the Constructors' Championship. After an unpredictable weekend in Turkey, somehow another team have come into contention for third position in the Constructors' Championship. Racing Point lead the way on 154 points, McLaren are behind on 149, ahead of Renault and Ferrari on 136 and 130 points respectively, with a 24-point gap between 4th and 7th, and seemingly regular opportunities to fight for 4th or even podium positions on track. It's certainly something worth keeping an eye on with 3 rounds to go. Each of these teams have taken podiums this year, and all drivers, apart from Renault's Esteban Ocon, have managed to do so this season. It's been a long time since we've had 12 different podium finishes in a single season. The battle has been incredibly close, and the race in Turkey seems to have broken Renault's recent run of form. However, anything can happen, and a good performance of any one of these teams could see them taking that coveted third position and the huge difference in prize money that goes with that. At the same time, anything could go wrong, and as we reach the final races of this shortened season, will any of the teams face grid drops with engine penalties? More on that later though. Number 2. The inter-team battles. There are a couple of pretty close inter-team battles up and down the grid in terms of both qualifying and race results. Perhaps the key highlight to look out for is at McLaren, where as well as fighting for third position in the Constructors' Championship, the 2 drivers are also locked in battle for position in the Drivers' Championship. Currently, Carlos Sainz is ahead on 75 points, with Lando Norris just 1 point behind on 74. Both drivers will be looking to end the battle ahead of each other before their teammate partnership comes to an end this season. The qualifying battle is 7 apiece, with 3 remaining rounds to go. Similar to last season, the pair have been consistent, which has been a huge benefit to the team as it looks to regain its status after becoming a fallen giant in recent years. Other inter-team battles to keep an eye on are at Alfa Romeo, where both Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi are on 4 points for the season. In a year where points have been difficult to come by for the team, any opportunity at sneaking a point would be an ideal result, as they are set to continue their partnership for 2021. Raikkonen leads the qualifying battle 8-6, but this could all change heading into the final races. Finally, it's always worth keeping an eye on the pair at the back of the grid at Williams. Both drivers sit on 0 points so far, but George Russell has had a great season, in qualifying at least, proving that the car has come on since last season and has caught up somewhat to the other teams. Russell's qualifying masterclass has continued this season, beating Nicholas Latifi 14 times in a row, extending Russell's overall run of out-qualifying his teammate to now 35 times in a row. Will George be able to maintain this form and have 2 perfect seasons in a row, on Saturday at least? Number 3. Can Hamilton get closer to matching yet another record? Talking about Hamilton once again after he's already won the World Championship is one thing, but after a season where he's matched Schumacher's record of 7 World Championship titles and beaten his record for race wins, Hamilton is also on track to match Schumacher's record of 13 race wins in a season, which the German achieved in 2004. The record was also tied with Sebastian Vettel in 2013. However, it is widely accepted that Schumacher completing the feat in an 18-round season versus Vettel's 19-round season means that he comes out on top in terms of win percentage. Given the unusual 2020 season is a 17-round year, if Hamilton continues to keep up his form and win each of the final 3 races this year, he would match the record and take that record of the largest win percentage. Number 4. Will there be any engine penalties? As mentioned earlier, the teams have restrictions on key power unit elements, with most being restricted to 3 across the season. All drivers have taken their third elements of the most critical parts, apart from Alfa Romeo's Antonio Giovinazzi, who's taken 2 of each element. George Russell took an engine penalty for using his 4th combustion engine turbocharger and MGU-H at the Turkish Grand Prix. It will be interesting to see whether any other teams need to take the hit of an additional power unit going into the final few races, particularly with the almost oval track next weekend for the Sakhir Grand Prix, and in preparation for one of the longest straights on the calendar in Abu Dhabi. With the expected engine penalties, Lando Norris lost an engine at the Nürburgring earlier this season, mentioning after the race that he expects to take a penalty before the end of the year. Similarly, Lance Stroll lost a power unit in his crash at Mugello, after which he moved on to his third and final engine for the last 8 races. The Bahrain Grand Prix will be the 6th race on this engine, and since his race in Italy, he has already retired at Portimao in order to protect his engine. I would expect a similar situation if he finds himself outside of the points on Sunday, unless he takes the grid drop that comes with taking the new power unit. Number 5. My predictions. The final element of my things to look out for at the Bahrain Grand Prix will be my predictions for this weekend. In terms of the qualifying results, it's difficult to look past Lewis Hamilton. It is almost guaranteed to be a dry weekend given the fact that the race is in a desert, and so it's unlikely to throw up any shock results. Lewis is in form and always striving to win. So following on from this, I'm going to predict that Lewis will go on to win the race, with Max Verstappen in 2nd place and then Bottas taking the 3rd step on the podium. Bottas has had a rough time of late after finishing in 14th position, more than a lap behind his world champion teammate last time out at Turkey, but I can see Verstappen being keen to cause an upset once again. Finally, I'm going to predict a driver of the day performance from Carlos Sainz. So many of his races go unnoticed. Take last time out in Turkey where he finished 5th for example, but I can see the Spanish driver doing well in the midfield once again and outperforming his car. McLaren was strong at Bahrain last year, so I expect them to repeat that. So there you have it. It's my 5 things to look out for the Bahrain Grand Prix. What do you think of my predictions, and what are yours? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more videos like these in the future.